It is this time of the week where we have fun with our drafts. You guessed it right, we are going to prepare a wildcard draft for Gameweek 27 onwards. But before we do that, hello, I'm FPL MV and welcome back to my channel. If you enjoy such fun videos or informative videos or watching my team selection or just asking questions, you can subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, leave a like. Everything you do towards my channel is very much appreciated. And now let's go into those discussions about the wildcard in Game Week 27. It's a tough week to make a wildcard at the moment, in my opinion. But for me, it is a viable strategy. With all the fixtures in the FA Cup being done, we now have our confirmed fixtures. We already have the two fixtures of Brighton City and Palace Newcastle being removed. Now fixtures like, let me go here, and so this fixture is gone, this fixture is gone, this fixture is gone, and this fixture is gone. So we are left with 4 fixtures for Game Week 29. I was hoping yesterday that I could possibly avoid using my free hit in Game Week 29, but with my team at the moment, without destroying everything that I've built for now, it looks inevitable. I know it's not a pretty exciting free hit, but this year the chip is just not for excitement. I mean, for me, it's most important to have a proper team in Game Week 28 and then in Game Week 30, not to destroy and crush my team for Game Week 29 and just compromise with the players now. I'm going to invest in the best players with the best possible fixtures, and then in Game Week 29, I will just snap my fingers and I will have a proper 11 that can go and destroy the team that they're playing against. I'll be preparing those Game Week 29 free hits for sure, so stay tuned for that. In a couple of weeks I'll be preparing that. But yeah, with those fixtures, teams like Villa, Spurs, and most probably Brentford are going to be the teams that I'll be investing in, especially Spurs and Villa, as they seem to score a lot of goals. Maybe a cheeky player from West Ham like Bowen or Kudus can join the side, as they're okay. But for now, let's focus on Game Week 27 wildcard draft. I'll be preparing that wildcard with a thought that I will be using my free hit in Game Week 29. I cannot prepare a proper draft where we will do transfers after that, blah blah blah. It just doesn't look possible for me, and I don't see any sense into that. But with the teams that we know that will be having a double up already, we can prepare with a lot of double game week players into our side, just to not to have to include them into the frame. I know that teams like United are not in a particularly good form, but they will be having a double up in some time where they face Sheffield, so picking a player from United seems like a reasonable option. On the other side, at the moment, Liverpool are having a lot of injury issues, but when their fixtures against Everton is being replayed, not replayed, but scheduled to be a double up, it's going to be a double for Liverpool. So when they have the fit players, it's possible to include maybe Salah, maybe not. But yeah, at the moment, we don't have anything confirmed. They're playing with the kids, they're doing all right, but the Premier League is a different breed, and we cannot invest a lot of minutes into the kids at the moment. Speaking about this wildcard draft, we will be taking into considerations the fixture run for the teams. We will be dropping the Game Week 29 here, so we won't consider it. For example, for Wolves against Bournemouth, yeah, you get the memo. Tomorrow we'll maybe have this calendar updated, but for today we just have to improvise on it. But yeah, a lot of fixtures are already postponed, so we have the blanks here. Players like Foden, Haaland, they have a pretty tough fixture run. It's United, then it's Liverpool, then it's Arsenal, and then it's Villa. I mean, only Spurs are left, and that may be considered as the toughest fixture run there is. But there's still Manchester City, and I wouldn't go against them. Maybe I will pick two players from them, not more, because they are first of all expensive and second of all rotatable. But the player that is not going to be rotatable and I'm not going to compromise on is Erling Haaland. I know they have the fixture run, but they can score against anyone. 3 of those 4 tough fixtures are at home, and City are destroying teams at home. So if you are already owning several City players, I wouldn't go and just leave them behind. After the Villa game, by the way, it's amazing. So we will have to add talent into the frame because it's tough to adapt, especially without the wild card. And we will have to adapt on so many levels as well on different positions. But the guy that I'm going to invest in at the moment from Manchester City, it may surprise a lot of people, but it's Ederson. I will have my reasoning behind that. First of all, he's nailed in goal in the Prem. He's not being rotated, and especially for the double ups, he will be having two game weeks, two fixtures in that game week. I know it's against Brighton, but come on, City can keep a clean sheet against anyone, and they can score against anyone. So having Haaland and Ederson on the field is a pretty good thing, and then you won't be able to waste transfer on the goalkeepers position, and you have a proper goalkeeper. The next thing that we have to take into consideration is our second goalkeeper, and I won't surprise anyone by saying that the fixture run up until game week 32, where the top fixtures end for Manchester City, is Bournemouth. So I would go for Neto here. Here I have a goalkeeper with a double up, and I'll be benching Ederson against Liverpool, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. Yeah, he can get 7-8 points maximum, but Neto can get a double digit haul, especially against sides as Sheffield and Luton at home. Luton are scoring at the moment, but I wouldn't bet a lot of money that they'll score against Bournemouth, so he can keep a lot of clean sheets. And then he has Burnley, he has Wolves. By the way, Chan is now injured, so their attacking threat is going to be minified, but they're not playing in game week 29, so we don't even care about that. Everton are not scoring at the moment, and Crystal Palace are looking like a team that is going to score several goals. But yeah, 1 week I believe Neto is a pretty good option. I'm tempted even to go for a second defender from Bournemouth, but we'll see if we will have the capability of doing so. I mean, that four fixtures look like an amazing run of fixtures for owning some sort of Bournemouth defender. And if you have to replace either Estupinian or someone else who is injured, Bournemouth defender seems like a very good thing to do. There is a shout out for Kerkes at the moment, as he is their left back. He's crossing the ball a lot. I know he has only one assist so far, and he hasn't played a lot of minutes, but that's because Kelly is in his position. So Void Kelly is here, and he has a hip injury. We have to see if he is going to recover or not. But the nailed player here is Senesi. I know it's not an amazing player to own, but he already has 3 goals in the Prem. That doesn't mean anything in the past, but in the future he can deliver as well. So on the set pieces end, Senesi is a great player to own. Now, let's leave Bournemouth side to the rest at the moment. I want to add Solanke for sure, but for now he is flagged as an injured player, and we're going to see how we're going to approach the other fixtures and then decide how to invest our money. Looking at the fixture difficulty rating, I see that a team of Arsenal up until game week 31 has only one tough fixture, and it's against City. I know it's tough fixture, but come on, Arsenal are right now playing really well. And I would immediately add our first defender is Gabriel on set pieces. Their threat, and on the counter and on the build up they're a threat. And I'm returning Saka to my side. He was already there, but I'm putting him back. He's an amazing player. He is in a terrific form, like 5 games in a row with returns, and that's from 7 games, 6 games he has returned. I believe that he may slow down, but for the moment he is not looking like it. I know Sheffield and Brentford are not an amazing sides. No, they are amazing sides to face, especially at the moment. Brentford are having injuries and they are in a difficult position, and Sheffield are Sheffield. So I believe Arsenal are going to score a lot of goals. I may even consider putting another Arsenal player in it, but let's go step by step. Looking at the fixtures, another team with good fixtures for the short period is Brighton, but after that it's Liverpool and Brentford. That means that for the Liverpool game and then Arsenal, we may need to consider selling a lot more players. Then it's Burnley, Bournemouth. Yeah, they having a good fixture run, but on the moment I'm not too interested at them. Newcastle are a team that can be invested in, especially in the players of the caliber of Gordon. Gordon is doing perfectly fine and he is in a very good form. But I would steer away at the moment. A guy that I want to put my bet on, it's Bowen. I know that he scored 3 goals and before that he didn't have a lot of returns, but before that he was returning like hell. And I believe with Kudus, Paqueta, Ward-Prowse being back into the side, I believe owning a West Ham player against Everton, Burnley, then Villa, you're free hitting. Yeah, Newcastle, but Newcastle are conceding at the moment. Spurs, I believe Bowen is a pretty strong pick, and with a confirmed fixture, you don't care about Game Week 29. Let's not talk about Game Week 29 and just confuse a lot of players. Bowen is the second guy that we are adding into the midfield frame. Everton, Burnley, I believe it's a pretty good fixture run. Next up, it's Spurs, and I cannot see myself not picking a Spurs attacker, as at the moment they have scored in every game. Yeah, they are going to face Aston Villa, but Aston Villa are not a team to invest in defense. They then have Luton in game week 30, West Ham who are conceding, and then it's Forest. I believe that fixture run is golden, and I'm adding Heung-min Son into the frame for sure. He is my second premium player, and after game week 32 we can sell him for Salah when they are going to have a double up. In 34 they face Fulham, so Fulham Everton is going to be a pretty good time around to invest in Salah, at least in my opinion. But for now, for sure, Spurs player is needed here. I want to invest in one of their defenders, being Poro or Udogie, but at the moment nothing is confirmed there, so I'm not putting anything into the frame from the defensive point of view. Maybe we'll have more information after game week 27, and with the wildcard draft in game week 28 that I'm going to prepare, I may include Spurs players, but for now in defense I am steering away. The Wolves side, they face Newcastle. Newcastle are not side to be worried about. Then it's Fulham, then it's Villa, but then it's Burnley, West Ham, Forest, and then it's, I believe, the fixtures for them. Yeah, the only thing here that I'm considering is putting a rotating defender that I can rely on. But at the moment, I'm going to steer away from Dawson, and I'm not going to put him to the side, but I'll have him on the back of my mind. Looking at the fixtures, a team that is scoring goals for fun whenever they are having a good day, it's a team called Aston Villa. And even though they face Luton are a good fixture to face in, Spurs and then Wolves. After that, it's City away. I believe Wolves are playing with 3 at the back, Luton are playing with 3 at the back, Brentford are playing with 3 at the back, and Spurs are conceding goals, but they are at home, so Spurs will be attacking. So on the counter, Villa is a strong team. West Ham we are not considering, even though they are still conceding a lot of goals. But Ollie Watkins is back into the frame. I cannot see myself going at the moment without Ollie Watkins, as he is performing miracles, in my opinion, and that's a pretty solid thing to add into the frame as a solid player. Looking at Crystal Palace, they face Spurs, Luton, Forest, and Bournemouth. If we have a sniff of Eze or Olise being back, I would highly recommend you go for them. But for now, I'm steering away as we need to prepare for the wild card a little bit better. Maybe Munoz from their defense is a player that I can invest in, but against Spurs, I don't feel like doing it. Having Fulham and Forest in the next 2 fixtures means that I can invest in a Brighton defender that is going to get a playtime and it's not going to cost a lot, and I can then put him on the bench. I have a proper player for that place, and that's Van Hecke. In my opinion, he is the best cheap defender next to Brent Waite. But looking at the Everton fixtures, they're having West Ham, United, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Burnley. So they're not having the toughest fixture run of them all. But let's be honest, I'll be playing them maybe against Burnley. But Bournemouth no, West Ham no, they're maybe getting it form, United no. So for now, I wouldn't invest in any other player. We have 33 million, so that's a lot of money that we can go around and play. I will be honest, I will be playing a 3-4-3 formation. I will add Solanke back, even though he is with an injury. I cannot see myself going without Solanke in that fixture run. You can avoid game week 29, but it's still Burnley, Sheffield, Luton, Everton, Crystal Palace, Luton again. I mean, that's an amazing fixture run. And then in 34, it's maybe Villa and Wolves, which is an okay thing to keep Solanke in, and you have the player there to showcase. Next up, it's a team called Manchester United that I want to talk about. They face City. It's not a good fixture, but it's an okay of a derby fixture. Anything can happen. I believe City are destroying United, but maybe United can bring up the game, especially at Old Trafford. Maybe not, who knows, but with injury to Højlund at the moment, I don't see myself picking anyone else apart from Garnacho. Rashford and Bruno, I don't like in the form they are. I don't like how they're performing. So I may not pick anyone from United and just wait for Højlund and for their double up in game week 34, where they will face Newcastle and Sheffield, which is going to be ideal. But at the moment, I find it difficult to pick a proper fourth midfielder because I know my fifth midfielder already. It's going to be a player that's playing basically every minute. I don't care about the fixtures. I just want him to be there. And when I want to rely on him to put him in, like maybe Garnacho is a good option there, but I'll have my favorite Makati. He's on penalties at the moment and he seems nailed and he's playing every game week. The only issue is that against Game week 27 they face City, so I wouldn't want to play him. Liverpool are with an okay fixture run, Forest, but then City and Brighton not particularly well in defense. Then it's Sheffield, so it's a good thing to invest in a Liverpool player against Sheffield as they tend to score a lot. Then it's Palace at home, so good home fixtures to be investing in, but that's after the international break. It's game week 31, so we will be prepared for that for sure. Let's try and find myself some defenders as I'm struggling at the moment. We have Arsenal, we have Brighton. We're going to add Dawson back as Wolves are a solid team and we can maneuver around them. And from now, we will know Bournemouth, maybe another defender, but no Brentford, no Burnley, no Chelsea, even though they are facing Brentford, then Burnley, then Sheffield, then Everton. So maybe adding Cole Palmer back is the best option, as I would like to own him against Brentford. I would like to own him against Burnley. I would like to own him against Sheffield. 29 is postponed. Then he'll have a double up, which is Brighton and most probably Arsenal, which is not an amazing run, but it's still, what did I do? Yeah, which is not an amazing run, but it's still penalty taker from a top side, let's be honest. So Palmer, who got a rest against Leeds in the cup, so I'm picking him as my player. And the final guy here, I'm just going to go for Makati. And he's going to be my backup option. I know he faces Arsenal right now, but yeah, I don't. Here I can put Douglas Lewis, but he is going to get a lot of budget that I can invest somewhere else, so I'm not picking him. Going into game week 27, I would like to have a defender that is going to play, and we'll have a double up, and it's a solid player. I want to see United defenders. They are being cut into shreds at the moment. Maguire is with an injury. The voice fit Lindelof, Varane, Evans. They don't have a defense at the moment, especially at the left back. Maybe Lindelof is an option there. City, we already own a defender. Arsenal for the double up. Chelsea, so we have all of our players apart from Bowen and Watkins and Son are going to have a double up in the future, but then, and yeah, Bournemouth is having as well, so a free hit team is possible if we sell those 3 players. We'll have 15 players. Looking at defenders, who is good in defense at the moment? No Newcastle, maybe Spurs with Udogi is an option. West Ham, yeah, I'm going to go with, but they do not have a double up, West Ham, but they face Everton and Burnley. Come on, I'm picking Emerson at the moment, as he's doing all right and he can play this week, and we have 8 million for a backup defender basically, so that means that I can properly go for Brentwaite. In 34 they're facing Forest and most probably Liverpool, but Forest it's good enough, so I'm going with Brentwaite. So we have a lot of cheap defenders here. I'm going to play Gabriel, Van Heck and Emerson next week as they're facing Fulham, Everton and Sheffield. And then I'm resting Dawson and Brentwaite against West Ham. Yeah, ideal. So yeah, that is the wild card. I saved a lot of money, even though I have expensive players here. I'm going to sell Son for Salah when I have the option. I have the money. I believe so. Yes, I have the money for now, so I'm not worried there. I can sell other players like Watkins for Højlund. I can sell Bowen for someone else. But right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 penalty takers, of who 5 are going to play each game week. We have 4 center backs, by the way, but at the moment we need nailed players, and we have a goalkeeper with a double up in 28. I know that I do not own Doughty, which may seem like a mistake, but they face Aston Villa, then it's Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. I don't expect them to keep a clean sheet. Then it's Blank, then it's Bournemouth again, but Spurs and Arsenal. So I will be relying basically on the double up, which is more than enough. Let's invest in Doughty. Okay, yeah, Doughty instead of Brentwaite. They are not going to have a double up, but we can sell a lot of players. We have to sell only 4 players without having a double up. So 5 players, but we're going to manage keeping 1 defender there. It's not such an issue, or you can invest in defenders. You have a lot of possibilities there to do, but now we have a lot of fullbacks in game week 28. I'm benching the... Who am I benching? I don't know who am I benching from my defenders if I use the wild card, but for sure it's not going to be Doughty, it's not going to be Gabriel. Brighton, Van Hecke, and maybe Emerson is playing against Burnley. So yeah, that's the wild card that I prepared at the moment. I believe it's a pretty solid wild card. I know that I do not own Liverpool, but the moment they're torn up with injuries, I own 2 City players, so I'm okay there. I own 2 Arsenal, so I'm okay. I'm owning Son and Watkins. I may need another Spurs players, but I will have to figure that out maybe later on. I own a Brighton player, I own a Bournemouth double up players, I own a Wolves player at the moment, I own a lot of penalty takers, nailed players, so yeah, that wild card seems like a good thing to do at the moment, and then you have a lot of transfers after game week 29 up until game week 34 to maneuver around the squad and be prepared with the double up. So yeah, I believe that finishes up pretty good the wildcard draft. I don't see any issue with it. I hope you don't see as well. If you do, leave down a comment. I believe that wildcard draft is ideal. I don't know if a lot of players are going to go to that wildcard draft in game week 27, but for me that is a proper wildcard draft. I hope you enjoyed it, but for now guys, I'll be heading out. Bye!